Well, I hardly need to tell you that tea is a recurring theme in all Barbara Pym's novels. Not only the innumerable cups which any occasion seemed to require, but also the meal, which was an essential part of the middle class's routine, whether eaten in with a home-baked cake or cakes from a bakery, at the houses of friends, or in a tea shop. Barbara Pym's novels illustrate the almost ritual importance of this meal. Who will forget Miriam's rendition of Miss Doggett in Crampton Hodnet, shrilly interrupting her companion, who is getting ready for the Sunday afternoon tea party for carefully selected undergraduate guests? Miss Morrow, where are the buns from Boffin's? In the same novel, when Edwin Killigrew and his mother were holding a tea party, she asks him, "Did you remember to bring the cakes from Boffin's?" "Oh, Mother, you know I did," he replied. In So Some Tempestuous Morn, another story featuring characters from Crampton Hodnet, though in different roles, Miss Doggett tells her niece Anthea, who is lacking some occupation, "You might go along with Miss Morrow. I shall want some cakes from Boffin's." "I will go for the cakes, Aunt Maud," replied Anthea, but she dallied on her way in the company of an attractive young man, and it was only when she got to Boffin's that she noticed that the best cakes were gone. So Boffin's appeared to be the bakery of choice to supply the tea tables of North Oxford in the 1930s. It had a long history from the mid-19th to the mid-20th centuries. From 1852 to 1866, James Boffin Baker had premises advertising itself as cook, confectioner, bread and biscuit maker, first at 109 and then at 107 High Street. From 1875 to 1930, there was another Boffin's at 71 St Giles. One would like to think that Miss Morrow bought her cakes here, as that would be the nearest shop to North Oxford, but it was demolished in 1931 to make way for an extension to the Taylorian Institution, so Barbara would never have seen it. Number 1 Queen Street had also been a Boffin establishment since 1852. This, I think, was the only actual tea shop, and probably on several floors. Margaret Cleveland remembered how her husband had once recited the whole of Marvell's to his coy mistress to her over tea in Boffin's, but there is little else suggesting that Pym's characters patronised it, as they did the baker's shops. A photograph taken in 1932 shows the building with the name Boffin's writ large along an upper story. This is now part of Santander Bank. I'm not sure exactly when Queen Street closed, probably sometime between 1932 and 1941, as Agatha says in So Very Secret, written at the latter date. "I had just said to Frida that I could do with a nice cup of tea, and she says, Boffin's isn't there anymore, so we had to go to Lyons." Finally, I'd like to return to Boffin's, the only one of these companies which traded exclusively in Oxford. This is how Barbara's friend Robert Liddell, who was an expert rhymer, especially of epitaphs, ended his verses on the death and funeral of a Don who had apparently killed himself because of an unrequited love. Wheeler had made the coffin, Mowbray had lent the pall, refreshments were by Boffin. Such was the funeral.